This is the Louie T Network. Hey, either you're outside or you're
in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I am your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 14, the National Football League. New England Patriots on the road taking on the San Diego Superchargers on Sunday Night Football. Huge AFC matchup with playoff implications oozing out of every nook and cranny of this football game. Patriots come into the game at 9-3. A win would keep them atop the AFC conference. A loss would put them a game behind the Denver Broncos, a place they do not want to be. If you're the San Diego Chargers, it's simple. Just keep winning and you'll make it to the postseason. A loss in this game will drop you to 8-5 and put you right back into the mix with all those other teams looking for a playoff bid. So if you're San Diego at 8-4, a win would put you at 9-4, keep you in the hunt in the AFC West division, and keep you in the lead for one of those final wild card spots. So this is a huge game for the Chargers as well. Let's jump into this breakdown, as this was going to be a huge matchup for both teams involved. An opening drive for the Patriots consumes a majority of the first quarter, but only produces a field goal after an Ingram sack. Melvin Ingram was huge in this game, and I thought Chris Collinsworth did a wonderful job of highlighting him and talking about, what his career has been like thus far with all the injuries. And this guy is the first round pick that the Chargers have had high hopes for a very long time. And I thought you saw some of the best of Melvin Ingram in this football game, blowing up the left tackle, Nate Solder, on a couple of instances, pushing him into the backfield, blowing up some running plays, getting to the quarterback like this first possession to force a field goal. Thought Melvin Ingram had a strong game. It's 3-0 New England early on as we head to the second quarter. Not a lot of activity. Again, Patriots taking up a good majority of the first quarter clock with that drive and only yielding 3 points. San Diego responds with a drive that ends with a diving Malcolm Floyd touchdown at 7-3. So Chargers respond to the Patriots' points with points of their own. The only difference, they get in the end zone, something that the Patriots failed to do on that initial scoring drive. And so it's now 7-3, Chargers out on top. Ensuing possession, they kick it off. Patriots look to respond to the score of the Chargers, and B-Fell coughs it up. Hand in the cookie jar, ball on the floor, yum, yum, eat them up, yum, yum, eat them up, cookies, give me those cookies, boy. He didn't want the football, so the Chargers took it away from him. They get the football, scoop and score by Brandon Stuckey as he is able to run in the end zone. Very alert play to not only locate the football, pick it up, but get in the end zone. 55-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown, and is now 14-3. If you're the Chargers, you couldn't have scripted a better start to the game than that. You're up 2 scores. You're almost at the halftime break. You're feeling good about yourself, up 14-3. If you can get a defensive stop and then get the football back, really you've moved the football, just haven't been able to do, everything you've wanted to do. That first possession had some promise, and then Phillip Rivers, under siege, wasn't able to complete that drive, had to punt the football. So if you can get the football back, I'm just saying, Chargers really in a good spot, up 14-3 at home. After adding a field goal, the Patriots cut the lead to 8 at 14-6. New England blocks a punt, injuring punter Mike Cyphers, and then leads to a Gronk touchdown. So they block the kick. Not only does this have far-reaching consequences, as Mike Cyphers, the Chargers' all-world punter, is no longer going to be in service for the remainder of the game, but it also, in the short term, gives the Patriots magnificent field position and a chance to cut even further into that Chargers lead. Is exactly what they do as Gronk is able to get loose, get into the end zone. It's now 14-13, and no Mike Cyphers moving forward. So that was a huge turn of events in the football game. as it's now 14-13, Chargers clinging to a 1-point lead. Patriots go right back down the field as the half is about to expire. Brady puts together another one of those masterful drives, has his team threatening to at least get 3, if not get in the end zone, before he is picked off. Bad throw by Brady into double coverage. Manti Te'o sitting in his own coverage. Don't know what Brady saw. Don't know if he thought he could try to put it over him or not. But bad throw nonetheless, picked off by Manti Te'o as he thwarts that Patriots scoring threat right before the half. And the Chargers maintain that 14-13 lead going into the halftime break. Come out in the third quarter, and LG, life's good when you get the football to Ladarius Green. Well, he takes a shot after bobbling the football from Brandon Browner, and he was lit up. It was a hellacious shot, and he didn't get a chance to protect himself because he was juggling the football, trying to bring it in. He takes the shot, and that draws a personal foul penalty, negating a Devin McCourty interception for a touchdown. However, they lose Ladarius Green for the game, and he's a guy that I like to see the Chargers get the football to a little bit more often. He's gone. No touchdown for the Patriots, but again, another far-reaching consequence for this Chargers football team. Pats are able to force an interception of Rivers anyway, despite having that McCourty touchdown negated, as Akeem Ayers baits Phillip Rivers into a bad decision over the middle of the field as they were already in field goal range. And so that's another mistake by this Chargers team, clinging to a 1-point lead at this juncture of the game. And so the Patriots start to mount a drive as we head to the fourth quarter. Still 14-13, Chargers leading. But the Patriots are on the move as we go to the fourth quarter. Pats get a field goal to take their first lead of the game at 16-14. How do the Chargers respond to the first adversity of the game, being down for the first time in the game? They do nothing but allow Julian Edelman loose for a 69-yard touchdown on a nifty catch and run, breaks a tackle, is able to sprint away from the rest of the defense. It's now 23-14, Patriots up by 9. So now, not only are they up, but they're up by 2 scores in the game. And I don't fault the defense. Even though that was a defensive breakdown, I don't fault the defense. I thought Chris Collinsworth, who I think does one of the best jobs outside of Mike Tirico, I think Chris Collinsworth, best guy on television doing football. But I thought Collinsworth did a great job of saying, look, man, if this Chargers offense doesn't get something going, they had nothing going for themselves the entire second half, never threatened the Patriots in that second half outside of that one possession where they started to move the football and Akeem Ayers was able to make the interception. They really didn't sustain offense. And it's one thing to say, all right, you guys need to score some points. They just needed to sustain some offense, pick up a couple of first downs, flip some field position, maybe give the defense a little bit of a breather. The defense seemed like they had been out there the entire second half, and you saw the far-reaching consequences of the defense being on the field. You saw what was to come because of that. And that Julian Edelman 69-yard touchdown looked like a tired, defeated defense as he catches the football over the middle of the field, breaks a tackle, and is able to run away from the rest of the defenders. It's now 23-14. Chargers pass on an opportunity. I thought this was very passive of the Chargers, especially being down. If you're down 1 score, I understand the logic here, okay? But if you're Mike McCoy, you're down 9, and there's literally 6 minutes and 48 seconds left in the game. Phillip Rivers scrambles for 5 yards on 3rd and 10, picks up 5 yards. You're right around midfield. It's 4th and 5. The game is on the line here. I mean, your defense hasn't gotten a stop on the last 2 possessions. You've given up a field goal and a touchdown, respectively, on the last 2 possessions. They're tired. You should go for this on 4th down. You're down 2 scores. It's a 9-point deficit. Why are we punting the football here? I don't understand. Help me to understand why a punt was the best situation for the football team at this juncture of the game. Again, keep in mind, 6:48 left. You're down 2 scores. And oh, by the way, your defense hasn't stopped the Patriots just about the entire 4th quarter. Why is punting the football here a good idea? It wasn't. I can answer that. It was not a good idea. I thought Mike McCoy was being too passive there. He punts the football back to the Patriots. They're able to eat up the clock for the most part. LeGarrette Blount is gashing the defense at this point. And again, they're tired. This defense has been on the field the entire second half. And it's funny because the Patriots the Chargers are normally the team doing this to the opposition. They're normally the one eating up the clock and wearing down the defense. But that hasn't been the Chargers this season. That hasn't been their MO like it was a season ago. And they got a dose of their own medicine in this game. Patriots dominate time of possession, dominate the second half, dominate the fourth quarter, and win the football game 23-14. Patriots get it done on the road. Wasn't the most flashy victory, but again, when you're a good football team and you go on the road in a hostile environment, it really sounded like there were a lot of Patriots fans there, to be honest with you, but it doesn't matter. When you go on the road and you got to get it, that's the way you do it. I mean, sometimes it's not going to be pretty. You're not going to score, 41 points or whatever they scored, 43 like they did against Indy on the road on Sunday night about 3 weeks ago. Sometimes you got to go on the road and gut it out. They were trailing the entire game. 3 full quarters. This Patriots team was down in this football game before finally taking the lead in the fourth quarter and running away with this game. So very impressive showing on the road by the Patriots. They stay atop the AFC conference at 10-3 with this victory. And for the Chargers, this is a tough luck loss here because now you're 8-5. I don't really know exactly what the playoff standings look like, but with Baltimore being at 8-5 and Pittsburgh being at 8-5 as well, this Chargers team could easily be on the outside looking in at the playoff picture. And so you didn't want to put yourself in that position. Now, it's anybody's guess as to who's going to make it. You've fallen back to the pack with your 5th loss of the season. And it doesn't get much easier for you. As a matter of fact, next week you're at Denver. Good luck. You're going to need it going into Mile High looking for a W. Last year we didn't give you a chance in Denver to get it done late in the season on a Thursday night, and you did. Can you do that again? I don't know. This isn't the same San Diego Chargers team that last year was able to eat up the clock and keep Peyton Manning and that football team off the field. I just don't know if this Chargers team is built that way this season or not. We'll see. But at 8-5, you're still right in the thick of things. It's not the end of the world, but that was a tough loss to have at home, especially being up 14-3 in this game. You've got to find a way to hold on to that game and win at home versus the Patriots. For the Patriots, heck of a comeback, down 11 at one point, and was able to just stay close, nip and tuck, shave points off that lead until they were finally able to strike in the fourth quarter, get it done. 23-14, Patriots, huge win in this game. That's going to do it for Patriots and Chargers on Sunday night. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. Come back and join me as I've got plenty more games to break down in week number 14, the National Football League. See you in a bit.